I'm Justin Lampkin from Clock Management, and I'm stepping into the war zone.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Step into the war zone.
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 Friday night war zone.
Friday night war zone.
Hey, yo.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Joe Morley, and this is Mike on the mic, and welcome to another episode of Welcome to the War Zone. Special guest tonight. You guys know him. He's a U.S. Army veteran, and I still think that he's very much involved, but he won't give us any details. You know those military guys. He's a very big fantasy football guy. If you follow him on Twitter, which I recommend, you'll get a lot of inside information and some funny jokes to go along with it. His name is Justin Lampkin, just like he said. Justin, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. I actually just got my Scott Fishbowl invite today, so I'm doing really good.
Oh, the big Scott Fish. Hopefully somebody doesn't mess up that draft like they did last year when they took Matt Barkley #1 overall.
Nice.
I guess it's the same, right?
Yeah, he's still good, right? That's what was the scoring format?
He might be your pick.
Yeah. I might have to do it now. Keep the tradition alive.
I think they're what are they doing this year? They're doing is it female rock groups? Is that what the Fishbowl is?
I think so. I didn't actually look yet. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out. So, you're right. It is because it was just going to be rock groups, and then after some things that happened in the fantasy community, you decided to go with female rock groups.
It's good to hear. It's good to adapt and get going. But congratulations on getting that invitation. Have a lot of fun with it. But speaking about invitations, you're in a big fantasy league that you're running, right? You're basically and Jay the Plug are the main guys in this, and it's called the Pace League. And a lot of people that have been watching our show, we plug it a lot. We always throw it out there. But can you give our viewers a little bit of information about the Pace League?
Yeah, me and Jay running it together, like you said. So me and him actually, we were both starting a similar league separately. And then we started talking with each other and we're like, let's just merge this thing together, man. So we started working together and it's awesome. We got a bunch of big names in it. T-Pain's in it, which that cracks me up. It's awesome. One of my favorite, we got Andy Holloway from the Fantasy Footballers. We got guys from NFL Network, Michael Florio and Marcus Grant. Who else we got in this thing? Oh, we got Coach Hue Jackson, the former coach of the Browns, Darren Waller, which yeah. And I understand he even video called you when you joined the league.
Yeah, he had some words for me. I mean, we've talked before, so it's not the first time that we've talked. But off camera, I think I've told you that he told me to basically go have a fun day. But in other language, and it was the first time that I ever was like, "Hey, that's cool." Somebody said that. So yeah, Darren Waller's in that league.
And Danny Woodhead just joined it too, which is
Danny
awesome.
Woodhead.
Yeah,
Mike's favorite player growing up. Did you know that?
Did you see that? What's Melvin Gordon just had an interview where he said that he's trying to be like Danny Woodhead and teach the young guys the ropes, basically, like Danny did for him.
Yeah, he should be more like Danny Woodhead. He should do that.
Mike is a big Charger fan, but he's not a Melvin Gordon fan, but he's a Danny Woodhead fan. It's weird.
It's weird. This has turned into a little bit of a love triangle.
Yeah. Right. And ours is also all for charity too, which is the most important part about it, which I love. And like a bunch of great charities that we're raising money for. I mean, mostly we're raising money for the Green Beret Foundation because whoever wins the league, that's where the money's going. And obviously I'm winning the league. So I appreciate all of them helping me raise money for the Green Beret Foundation.
Yeah, it seems like a great idea. And Mike and I, once we saw what you guys are doing, we wanted to be involved. We want to help you guys out as much as we can, do some things. So we've been in talks, guys. Get ready because the Pace League is going to be something big. But like he said, T-Pain, who doesn't know anything about fantasy football, and Mike is backing T-Pain to win
Team
your league, just to
T-Pain.
let you know.
It's tough.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, right? I have home leagues where I lose to people who auto draft all the time, which is infuriating. So, I mean, it's possible.
And then you have some of our other friends.
I
Bogard.
believe T-Pain has a song, All I Do Is Win, right?
Yeah.
Is that T-Pain?
Yeah, he sings the hook on it.
Oh, okay. He's one of the few people in there, but yeah, I'm sure it works.
Yeah.
What he tell you, Mike, that he's gonna just press buttons?
He didn't tell me that. He just said that on a video. But
Yeah,
he's just gonna push some buttons and he's gonna win. And I like that attitude. I'm in on T-Pain. T-Pain's gonna somehow win this thing. I'm telling you.
No.
I'm gonna be upset. I'm not gonna lie.
He's got a high draft pick, doesn't he?
He's got the number 2 overall pick.
Oh.
Maybe,
and luckily for him, I have the number 1, and I don't agree with everyone on who the number 1 overall pick is. So he's gonna get everyone's number 1 overall pick.
If he
doesn't, we'll get to that in a little bit. I don't want to give it away because I know who you're big on, and we'll get there later on. So if you guys are watching, little cliff hook right there, we'll try to catch you.
That was good.
Yeah, it's good, right? That's a good one.
Yeah. Really well.
That's the one we'll clip and we'll put out there.
Yeah,
people watch it to get them come watch the whole video.
Exactly.
Just stay on there because we'll let you guys know. But yeah, the Pace League it's. I mean, anything that you could do to have fun, why giving it to charity is a great thing. And we have to get a list of all the charities, but it's going to be like I said, we've been in talks with you guys of hopefully helping you guys out and doing a lot of things for you guys with that Pace League, because Mike and I are all for helping charity and having a great time.
Yeah, and like you're saying, Bogard, another Instagram guy, he's in there. We got Smitty from the Fantasy Football Show and Fantasy Football Couch, which I love that dude. He was one of the first people I reached out to when I started doing a podcast, and he hopped on one of my first episodes that I ever did. And I didn't even realize how big of a his following was at the time. I just know I had seen him before, so I'm like, let me reach out to this guy. So I appreciated that. Yeah,
and Complicated Kai, one of our friends who actually helped us with a lot of our intro and a lot of us at the beginning. So you got a great cast of guys in that league, and I can't wait to see how it goes. See who that draft. Like you said, it's going to be one of those drafts that's just going to go. It's going to go. Okay. What? Like, there's going to be a kicker drafted real early in that draft. There's going to be there's going to be some things that throw you off, but that's the fun of it. And that's what
I keep telling Jay, just tell T-Pain it's never too early to draft a kicker.
Hey, Justin Tucker, if you take Justin Tucker, you're all set.
Don't listen to him, T-Pain.
Yeah,
if you're watching
T-Pain, Vinatieri's highest score in NFL history. Go ahead and grab him.
Don't take any advice from Jay the Plug. He's gonna plug you in with a bad pick so he can get Christian McCaffrey or something at pick 4, wherever he's picked.
He's picked 3. So he
there you go. Do not listen to Jay.
Yeah. Somebody, if you guys want to help out, go ahead and reach out to T-Pain, but you will get stuck in his DMs according to
the DM limbo.
T-Pain does not check it.
Start tweeting at him. Just start tweeting at him in masses.
I don't know if he even checks his Twitter. I know he checks his Instagram occasionally, but he doesn't know how to go between the segregated messages. So,
yeah, it is. I mean, I'm not T-Pain. I only get like 1 or 2 messages a day. So, if you guys feel bored, go ahead and shoot me a message. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun league, and we'll have some fun. But speaking about, let's go straight into the NFL. Let's go to the National Football League, because this team, your favorite team, Justin, was talked about a lot. They made a big trade to move up to that number 2 spot.
Yeah.
And they had everybody wondering who they were going to take. There was Mac Jones. There's Justin Fields. They ended up taking Trey Lance.
Man.
Your thoughts on Trey Lance?
So first of all, I was watching this in Las Vegas with Complicated Kai, and all the rumors were Mac Jones, right? Like that's what all the hype was, all the rumors. I did not want Mac Jones. I was very adamant about that, and I drank a lot of alcohol to help myself calm down before this draft even kicked off. So I was already feeling pretty great sitting there watching this. And then when the pick came in, so we didn't get who I wanted. I wanted Justin Fields, but Trey Lance was my next, that was the next guy I wanted. So I was ecstatic just that it wasn't Mac Jones. So thank you. And I think Trey Lance or Justin Fields would, I trust Shanahan, to be able to coach up a young player, especially a quarterback. So I think he'll be just fine in that system. And it's such a great situation to step into. They have an amazing offensive line. They have one of the best, running games just there, not like one individual, but just the whole schemes and how they run their system. And then the wide receivers with Debo, Ayuk, and Kittle all back this year. So, I mean, for a young quarterback to step into that, like, you can't ask for a better situation.
Yeah, the 49ers are poised to have a really good turnaround. I'm with you on that thing with the whole Trey Lance thing. Not that I don't think Trey Lance is going to be good. I just think if you're going to trade all those picks to move up like that, you want a guy that's going to come in and take over this team within the first 8 games, if anything, but year one. You know what I mean? And I think Lance is a little bit more of a project, but he does have a higher ceiling. So I do see that. But what would make you very confident, I don't know if you've seen some of the interviews and stuff that's come out, that when they traded up to that number 3 pick, both Shanahan and Lynch said Lance is our guy. So they have a lot of confidence in this guy, and they are both, football legends. Management side of the game. They've
been killing it since they stepped in. So I love what they've put together there in San Francisco.
Trusting them.
Trusting them. I might be the one that has to eat this later on, but Justin Fields was my number 1 guy and still is my number 1 guy.
Yeah, I agree with you though.
So that's what I thought it was. But yeah, when I heard Trey Lance, I was like, okay. And I think because if Mac Jones would have been that name, if they would have came out and said the 49ers select Mac Jones, it would have been worse than when the Raiders selected Alex Leatherwood. That people would be talking about it today, but they took the right guy. I mean,
I still wouldn't be on camera right now.
You'd probably still be on the Vegas Strip somewhere drinking,
passed out.
Ever since that day, we've never heard of Justin. So I don't know. I like it. And then I don't know if you saw, we did a Madden simulation where we put all the rookies, the 8 rookies from the draft, on their teams, and we made them starters. And Trey Lance took the 49ers to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was actually just checking that out a little bit ago.
Yeah, so you got that going for you, and they lost.
Oh, did they? I didn't catch the end.
It's crazy.
Oh, we were spoiler alert.
Yeah. Mac Jones threw a 40-yard dart with 15 seconds left to win it. But it's funny because they would have been reversed if they would have taken Mac Jones, most likely.
Yeah.
Trey Lance would have slid to the Patriots, and then Mac Jones would have gotten taken at 3.
Man. Yeah, that could have been wild. And I mean, unless someone traded up for him.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true too. 49ers, they just lost Jeff Wilson, so he's not going to be what? Is he not playing, or is it a couple
He's
weeks?
out 4 to 6 months. So he'll be back mid-season or end of season, really. So I had just tweeted out, I think it was 18 hours before his injury. For the first time in what seems like a decade, the 49ers have no one on their injury report. So I'm sorry, everyone. This is all my fault. I apologize.
You need to call up Jeff and tell him.
Jeff, it was my bad. But by the time he comes back, one of the other guys might be going on, and he'll just take the spot.
Yeah. And I mean, hopefully now he comes back and he's just healthy and ready to go for the postseason,
Yeah, that'd be true. They got Gallman back there. Mm-hmm. They have Mostert, and then they drafted Sermon.
And oh shoot, I forget. I'm drawing a blank. They drafted another guy as well. Oh man.
So that backfield is gonna be moving in and out. It's gonna be they've always
that's
had
what they do. Yeah.
And that's why I was telling Mike that I would be a good landing spot for an Atlanta wide receiver named Julio Jones, because he can go to a run first offense and not have to be the guy that he has to be in Atlanta. You like Julio?
Yeah, and he said he wants to win. I mean, that's a team that's going to win with or without him. And if he comes in, so I'm actually not as excited about Julio this year as most people, no matter where he is. He's going to get injured at some point this season. Like, I don't like to say people are injury prone. I don't believe in that for the most part, but there are exceptions to the rule. And at this point in Julio's career, he's one of those exceptions. He continues to get injured year after year. He's going to miss a couple games here and there. And he's declining. He's a bigger bodied wide receiver that is getting up there in age. They usually break down right around the 30-year-old mark, and he's turning 32 this season. So I think he's going to be like not as great as he's been. I think we're going to see like kind of like AJ Green decline from him, which is depressing, but that's what I think.
I hope not. That's why I think it would be beneficial for him to go somewhere that already has the number one receiver. He doesn't have to come in and eat, 110 catches next year. He can come in and be that number two guy, go-to guy when they need him.
Yeah, the difference between him is he won't drop all those passes AJ Green did last season.
Yeah, he doesn't even need to be on the field for every single play. If you're coming out on first down and throwing a slant to Keenan Allen, and Julio doesn't have to be on the field.
Yeah,
did there?
Is that just a little shot because AJ Green went to the Cardinals?
No, man, AJ Green last year, I remember just getting so frustrated watching him play because I'm like, all right, I get it, like you're getting older, whatnot, like you're not in your prime no more. But when the ball's hitting you in the hands, I don't understand why you're not catching it.
Yeah. My thing with Julio is, he does get hurt, but how much of it did he not want to come back and pull like a kind of like the Kenny Galladay did last year and be like, hey, we're losing for a while, and I'll just sit out an extra game. I could probably come back, but you know what? My hamstring is kind of hurting just a little bit.
Richard Sherman did that too this past year.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not winning. You already know what you're worth. Speaking about, and then the 49ers, speaking about losing, last year was a bad year for them. They lost them
brutal.
A lot of injuries, but they still played hard. And where else could you see a team that lost that many guys still finish with 6 wins? That's what I thought was amazing.
And that's why I like Kyle Shanahan so much, because that speaks to his coaching ability, right? And like, you didn't see him coming out there in those press conferences like, well, I mean, I'm missing half my team. Of course we lost. Like, he takes responsibility for it. And Bogard, me and him actually talk, we talk a lot on the phone. Me and him were worried before this draft that Kyle Shanahan is too confident in his own coaching and takes too much responsibility to the point where he might have been like, I can win this with a Mac Jones or a Jimmy G. Like, no, you don't need to though. Make it easier. It's okay to not need to coach your way to every victory.
Yeah,
like Andy Reid's a great coach, but he still has Patrick Mahomes.
Lower your points of failure there. You got to lower your percentage of failure.
Yeah.
That's what I was telling Mike, that before the draft, I saw somebody that tweeted out, they said, if Shanahan took Mac Jones, he basically wants to win the Super Bowl on hard mode on Madden.
Yes. Yeah, that's what my concern was. I don't know. Win on easy first.
Yeah, go the easy route. Just do it.
Just get one win first, then you can move to hard mode or medium, wherever else. But you got to get the win before you do that.
But yeah, that team. I mean, I'm a Raider fan, so it's hard for me to talk good about 49ers and all that. So for me to come out and say that I was impressed with them, I like them. I think
Joe, I got to ask you, though, who were you rooting for when the 49ers played the Chiefs?
Nobody. Like, that was the toughest one. Like, part of like, you got to think like, okay, I have more 49er fans than I have Chiefs fans. Like, Chiefs fans here in California, they're not really here.
Yeah.
So I know like maybe 2 guys, and then the rest of them are all like 49er fans for it. So to me, I was like, I could take the Chiefs winning a little bit just because, but I don't want to go to the division. I don't want to go into the division, but I don't want to hear all these people talk about the 49ers. And so I was like, so I kind of went for the Chiefs just because of the division, but
man,
it was the same thing last year. I don't like Tom Brady. And then I had Tom Brady against the Chiefs, and I'm like, here we go.
So I don't dislike Tom Brady. A lot of people do, but I mean, why be upset with him? He's won a lot, but I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what he's there. That's his job. Like he's been doing his job. It's not like it's a team thing or something. I get it when you don't like other teams within your conference, because I mean that's what you're supposed to do. But like he went to a new team and still managed to find success there. So that's not easy to do. I respect what he's done, even though I don't want him to win, but I want the 49ers to win, but I respect him.
I don't like Tom Brady because he's a liar. He knows he fumbled that ball. He knows he fumbled that ball.
Oh man, yes. So let me tell you, that year I was a Raider fan because I'm the biggest Jerry Rice fan on earth. And so I was a Raiders fan that year, and I completely agree with you. Also, Charles Woodson's one of my idols. I played defensive back growing up. So, that watching that was so infuriating. But I mean, any sport, that's what every athlete does, right? Like you're not honest. Every athlete's a liar.
Yeah.
I'd be saying the same thing. I didn't fumble that ball. What are you talking about?
No, that was incomplete pass, totally. Or I was down, whichever you want. As long as it's not a fumble.
As long as we keep the ball, it's all good.
Yeah.
I think it was good. I think it was good exactly how it ended. I like the way it ended.
Oh man.
I was a little boy just over there cheering like, yeah, Raiders suck.
But I was over there, like, I think I was in high school, but I was like, I was like over there cheering Jerry Rice on, like, all right, let's go Jerry Rice. 49ers suck this year, so screw them. Jerry Rice going to get another Super Bowl.
See, I still don't get why the Niners, that still bothers me. I mean, I was in high school around that time too, like why the 49ers gave up on Jerry Rice. He still had 2 or 3 good years after.
Yeah, I was super upset about that.
But man. Hey, I heard that one day you might be kicking it with Jerry Rice, so we never know.
Oh yeah,
hopefully we'll see. I got some. Yeah, we'll see. We got some stuff lined up where we may be in the same place at the same time. So,
and then I'm going to ask you this about the 49ers. Do you remember the last 49ers Super Bowl that they won?
Yeah.
Do you know who they did? I can't. It doesn't come to my mind. Like, do you know who they beat in that Super Bowl?
I'm not sure. Mike?
Do you guys remember what year that was? The 1920s?
I think it was around the year. I want to say right after that Super Bowl was when me and your mother conceived you, actually.
Oh,
right,
as a celebration.
So double whammy. Found out that my mom's been lying to me, and we lost the Super Bowl that day.
What are they? Isn't that like where the teams that go to the Super Bowl, like, isn't there like a percentage of those 2 cities having the most babies that year? Have you guys heard of that? Like, Super Bowl
I have. Yeah, there's like a Super Bowl boom. Yeah.
What?
You never heard of that, Mike? That's an actual fact.
Don't call me a boom baby. I'm not a boomer. I'm not a Chargers lost boomer. The Chargers haven't been back since then.
I know you were joking, Justin, but Mike's dad is actually a 49er fan.
Yeah, he is.
And so he was watching that game, and if the 49ers won,
it all makes sense now.
Yeah, Mike.
I don't think they just won either. He reminds me often that it was a blowout.
Yeah, at least it wasn't like when the 49ers played the Broncos, though. I mean, that was a legit blowout.
Or when the Raiders played the Buccaneers.
Oh, man. Yeah. But now you guys got the Buccaneers coach.
See? Everything's healed in the world.
Just gone full circle.
Yeah, he's doing great, too. For us.
Let's go back to talking about the Chargers.
Or the 49ers.
Let's get off the Raiders. But, 49ers, do you like anything else about them this year?
I mean, their receiving core is amazing, right? Their defense, obviously, that's going to be great, but their receiving core, I think, is being underrated for fantasy purposes, especially once this quarterback change happens. I think that they could get to, in games where they're down, they have a chance to come back now by throwing the ball. So in those games, you'll see multiple wide receivers who are going to be fantasy relevant. Not just one person killing it and everyone else is, putting up goose eggs. So like you could see, both Debo and Ayuk in the same game, which that could be amazing.
And Kinlaw was one of my favorite draft prospects last year. If not, like I would say top 2. He was like 1 and 2 of last year. I know he started off slow, but he came on towards the end of the year. You expected more from him. And then your linebackers with Greenlaw and Warner.
Man, Fred Warner is one of the best linebackers in the NFL. I've been saying this for years, and he's finally starting to get recognition.
Yeah, as some other guys age, he's quickly approaching being not just one of the best, the best. He's going to be there one day. I think he might be there this year or next year, where it's like, I think we all can just say that Fred Warner is the best linebacker in football right now.
Yeah. Even last year, like I was talking about it, and people are like, I don't, you know, like I think he's one of the best. People are like, I don't know. And now it's just like, yeah, he's up there.
Yeah, he has to be up there. And at some point, you're like, maybe defensive player of the year, but until Aaron Donald leaves, he'll never be defensive player of the year.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough on a team where Nick Bosa is going to be eating up the quarterback and getting a lot of sacks. But Nick Bosa back in there, so they're going to be sharing, sacks, sharing tackles, like QB hits, sacks. Those are really good for your defensive player of the year.
I mean, your average fan, that's probably the biggest stat they look at, like your casual fans, like how many sacks did he have, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, his tackle, like you look at his tackle numbers though, and it's insane.
Yeah, that dude flies around, and he's really good in pass coverage too.
Yeah,
he's like Bobby Wagner, dude. He's good.
Yeah, he's amazing, man. And I'm so happy to have Bosa back.
Yeah, it's gonna be
if
great.
you haven't watched a 49er game, you need to turn one on, go back and watch it, and just watch Warner highlights. Just type in his and go to YouTube and find his highlights.
Yeah,
fall in love.
Yeah, he's I want to say hit this the last year of his contract too. So the 49ers like have to, make sure that they make that a priority.
Yeah. Pay the man. Pay him already. So yeah, I mean I like it. So you guys also signed some of the Raiders guys. You're gonna like Maurice Hurst. You're gonna like what he does on that defensive line. But yeah, casual fans don't look. It's not all about sacks. Sacks are created by other players. Sometimes the other edge rusher is the one putting the pressure and brings that quarterback right to the guy. Calm down on those. I know they look pretty, but it's not going to be everything.
Oh, yeah, it's like interceptions for defensive backs, right? Like that's what your casual fan looks at for defensive backs is like, oh, how many interceptions did he have? Interceptions are great. But then like when you start digging into numbers more and it's like, oh, well, yeah, this guy had interceptions, but this other guy, they just never threw it in his direction. Or the defensive line was in the middle of sacking the quarterback when he underhand threw it up in the air and he got an interception. Like it's not always about the guy who got the interception. There, you got to look deeper into things.
That kind of happened to Jalen Ramsey towards like right at the end of his Jaguar stint. Everyone was like, he hasn't put up numbers. He's falling off. No. They aren't throwing his way for a reason.
Yeah. Quarterbacks aren't stupid.
He's locking everyone up. And then sure enough, he gets to LA and gets big market. And it's like, boom. Well, now Jalen Ramsey's the best corner again.
Yeah. Ramsey only has 2 interceptions, but then you look and it's like, well, he only threw his way 20% of the game or the time.
Yeah.
80% went the other way. Okay.
Yeah.
So then you go 2 interceptions out of 20. Yeah. Okay.
That's pretty good.
So I don't know. But that's how it is.
And I think pass breakups, things like that too, like things that are important, like, the coverage, because that's what you're there to do. Interceptions are great, but as long as you break up the pass, you're doing your job.
Yeah, I think so too. And I don't even give up. Like, I don't even know how they do it on DB. Sometimes they do them dirty. Like when they put like how many touchdowns they gave up. And sometimes I see them go, that shouldn't have been his. That's not his.
Yeah. Yeah, he's supposed to have safety help over the top, and the safety's not where he's supposed to be. You give up a touchdown. It goes on your stat column. You gave it up, but I mean, you didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's why I like watching the film myself and finding some guys. I mean, I don't sit there and watch 24-hour film like some people, but you know it is. Even Mike played defensive back across the seas, and I'm sure he got an interception once or twice. So it's not that hard, right, Mike?
Yeah, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I led my team in forced turnovers 3 straight years. No big deal.
Nice.
No big deal.
Yeah.
See what we're saying, guys? Don't go all off the stats.
In high school, I had when I played, I had the most interceptions on our team, but also our team was just horrible. Like the entire team was just horrible. So, I was great compared to the other horrible players.
You were the best of the worst.
Yeah, exactly. I was a Las Vegas Raider, basically.
Yeah, don't look at the stat sheet with me because I played out in Japan in their little like X League, their little semi-pro league.
Yeah.
And everyone is like 3 inches shorter than me at receiver.
Like, yeah, you better get some interceptions.
Like, I went to a joint practice with one of their like high-level pro teams. A couple of our guys went just to work out with them in the off season. And I walked up and I said, I'm a DB to the DB group. And they said, no, go to linebackers. I was like, no, I'm a cornerback. And they're like, oh no. They canceled the Oklahoma drills because there was another guy my size that was our other cornerback. We were supposed to do Oklahoma drills with just the DBs. And they're like, no, because they're all 5'5" and shorter.
Well, I think the reason that people start like looking at stats is because of fantasy football, right? Fantasy football, and that's what you do, Clock. You're a big fantasy football guy, so you're looking at stats all the time too. So I think that's what is getting people to look more towards stats, but they look at the wrong stats. But fantasy football, I know we teased it earlier. You got the number 1 pick in that pace league, and a lot of people have been doubting this guy. And I already know who you love. A lot of people doubt him. But go ahead and make your case for this guy to be the number 1 pick in the draft.
Okay, I got you. I mean, obviously, I there's reasoning behind this. I'm not drawing a name out of a hat, but it's Saquon Barkley, and the reason for this, right? People, first of all, you have the bias, right, that comes from him getting injured that for some reason doesn't apply to CMC for people, and people are like, but he's coming back from a severe injury. He is. So did Dalvin Cook coming back from the exact same injury last year. Did just fine. This isn't an injury that you usually see a repeat injury of at this level. So it's not like he's injury prone. So I'm just tossing that out the window. Just forget about that. He's not injury prone. That's not a thing. He's an elite level athlete that's had a year to recover. Like he is top 0.1 of the top 1 or top 0.1% of athletes. Like he's going to recover just fine. So that aside, a couple years ago, he was the RB1. He was amazing. Last year, everyone had him signed, sealed, and delivered as the RB2 behind CMC, who everyone has at RB1 this year. Well, another reason why people are down on him is because the Giants' offensive line was bad last year. It was bottom 10% of the league. They looked really bad. They also were missing Nate Soldier, one of their best offensive linemen who sat out for the season because of COVID. And then their rookie offensive lineman they drafted, and they had to move another lineman over to where Soldier played, so he wasn't in his natural position. The rookie gave up a ridiculous amount of sacks in the first 8 games. You look at the second half of the season, and they're a top 10% offensive line, giving up almost, I think it was 2 sacks in the last half of the season. But people are looking at the whole picture of the whole season, but you have a rookie who wasn't starting, like this is first introduction to the NFL. Their offensive line is not bad. It's a good offensive line. And then on the other side of the ball, you got CMC over there, who's got a new quarterback, a new coach that we haven't really seen him with, except for a very small 1 or 2 game sample size last season. It's a completely different offense he's in, with a new quarterback this season, his second quarterback in 2 seasons. It's a different situation. So like I'm erring on the side of Saquon going into, the situation he knows, same quarterback, same coaching staff, he's going to be fine. And we know what he can do. So I'm going to err on that side. Also, we did see one of these teams draft a running back who was, I think, the 4th or 5th ranked running back, depending on who you talk to, in this draft class. It's his backup running back. I don't think he's going to take a huge amount of the carries, but he will get a couple here and there. So thinking that CMC is going to go back to his 90 to 100%, rate of getting the ball from the running back position is insane. He's not going to continue that rate. It's impossible to maintain that. So, he might go down to Saquon levels, which at that case, Saquon will surpass him with the offensive line and the rest of the team around him.
T-Pain, you're on the clock, buddy.
Yeah, T-Pain, Justin Tucker is available.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like Barkley. I mean, I like everything about him. The injuries 2 years in a row have kind of doubted me, but not enough to be like, nope, I'm not going to take him at all. And then you got CMC, and in my mind, I like Sam Darnold. I like the new offense in Carolina. I think, and I've been saying this a lot, and people are like, no, what are you doing? I think they have a potential to be a top 10 offense in this league. But with that takes away a little bit from CMC because they're going to have to go to those new wide receivers. They're going to have to throw to those wide receivers. And it's not just going to be Donald going, here you go.
Yeah, he's not the entire offense anymore.
Yeah. So I do like it. I do like CMC, but I understand where you're going. But see, my guy, and I don't know, I've been debating with myself over this one. And maybe you guys could set me straight today and say, Joe, he's good, wake up, but that's not the guy. But I've been telling myself that if I have the number 1 pick in my league, I'm taking Nick Chubb.
Ooh.
Man. So the Nick Chubb, here's the problem, right? Like I don't think you're insane for it. Like I get the argument, but the problem with Nick Chubb is he's almost low enough to where you might be able to get him in the second round. But he's not there. He's going at like the back of the first round, beginning of the second round even. So if you have that first overall pick, you're not getting him. So if you want him on your team, you have to get him there.
Yeah, that's what sucks, huh? About having the first pick. Like,
I don't like having the first pick. I wish I didn't have it.
Yeah, they should let us trade out because Nick Chubb, at 7 or 8 in that turnaround, get another really good running back in round 2. Now you're looking really good at your running back position.
Yeah. I that's like in this league, I wish I had like the 4th or 5th pick because I could probably still get Saquon there. And now I got a better pick in that second round.
Yeah, we just did, and you were involved in it. We just did a mock draft on. I mean,
kind of. I got pulled away right as it started in auto draft, all but like my last 4 picks.
So I don't think you would have. I think you had like the 12th pick anyway, so or one of the late picks, so you wouldn't have been involved with the Barkley. But Barkley went 5th in that draft.
Yeah.
And then I had the 9th pick and I took Zeke. And so when I posted it and I put like, I'll do it every Monday. Because we're going to do mock drafts every Monday now. So I'll post it every Monday. I'll go, hey, this is my team. So I put Zeke and people are like, you took Zeke way too early. And I'm like,
no,
there was, I was either 8th or 9th, but I think I was 9th. And I think that was the 9 running backs went off the board right in a row.
Oh
yeah. I have Zeke as my RB6.
So I did good then.
They did good. Yeah. You got him at 9.
Yeah.
Man, a lot of people are
this is probably a crazy. I have Zeke ahead of Derrick Henry.
Ooh. Is that because Derrick Henry doesn't catch a lot?
That coupled with them not doing anything to replace any of the pass catchers that left, you're going to see I don't know if it's possible, but you'll like more stacked boxes for Zeke. For Henry. He already faced the most in the league, and I think he sees even more because you could double cover, Brown and still stack the box against him because no one is concerned with anyone else.
Let me show you, Justin.
You're going to see 8-man boxes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it.
Ooh, yeah.
That's I had Derrick Henry.
You got to get that chain around his neck that he works out with.
I won my league last year. It's my work league, my fun league that I've been in for a while. And Derrick Henry, here's a fun fact, right? And you're gonna say, why the hell did this trade go through? Because we trade a lot. But I drafted Josh Jacobs, and Josh Jacobs had a great week 1. Derrick Henry, not so good. Then the COVID stuff started hitting, right? And people started getting scared. Well, I traded Josh Jacobs, looking at the Raiders schedule, and I go, hey, I'll trade you Josh Jacobs for Derrick Henry. And he was like, what? For reals? And I was like, yeah. But he was already, you know how people look at stats.
Yeah.
He looked at the 2 touchdown game, over 100 yards. He looked at Derrick Henry not starting off good. And then boom.
No, it makes sense. Like if you go back and look at the ADPs, they were close in the same ADP last year.
Yeah. And then I did have to deal with the COVID stuff because the Titans got hit with the first 2-3 weeks. I wrote that out, and I was like, at first I was like, damn, this is a stupid trade. It was a stupid trade. And then it paid itself off towards the end of the season.
No, so I last year the guy I was like out of the top running backs I was the craziest about was Dalvin Cook. I had him at number 2 overall behind CMC, which everyone's like you hate Saquon Barkley, which apparently I don't. But I had CMC at number 2, and that worked out pretty good for me. I had the number 2 or number 3 pick in my home league, and so when it got there, or was it? Yeah. Number 3 pick, Saquon and Cook were both still on the board. Everyone in my league was like, what are you going to do? I'm like, do you guys think I just say this stuff just like for shock value? I'm like, no, I mean it. I'm like, Dalvin Cook, dial it up. And everyone's like, oh, you're so stupid. And halfway through the season, it didn't seem so stupid anymore.
Yeah. Congrats on the championship, Joe. Who was your quarterback of that team? Go ahead.
Justin Herbert.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Crazy.
I don't remember. I'm trying to remember who I started the league.
I got drafted. Second in our league because Dalvin Cook, the championship week, did nothing.
Okay, see, the guy that I beat before to go to the championship, he had Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, I played against Derrick Henry in the championship.
But you know what helped me out the most, and to go back to that one, is he also had Juju Smith.
Oh,
and it was Juju Smith versus the Bengals, and I was winning by 11 points. So all he needed was 11 points, and that's the game that Juju was dancing.
Yeah,
got knocked out.
Oh, do you guys not get points for TikTok dances in your league?
We this year we started it. We didn't know that it was an option last year.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So that like, and it's funny because I had Juju at the beginning of the year and I traded it to him. And he was like, "You did it on purpose," and I'm like, "Won me a championship." But I don't know about you, Justin. I love trading, and Mike learned this from me too. Like you could look at my team when I draft it, and then by the end of the season, it's like, there's nobody here. What did you do?
Yeah, I'm constantly trading players, or attempting to, at least, depending on which league I'm in. Every league is different, where sometimes I'm in leagues where people just don't trade.
Yeah.
And I don't like, I enjoy negotiating and trading with people. So yeah, I'm always trying to better my team.
I enjoy the trade. I enjoy the trades also. I'm more of like a waiver wire, like long play guy though. I'm like looking like 5 weeks ahead of time. Like, oh, I need to get this guy now and stash him. That's probably why I lost in the first round in all 4 of my leagues, but
probably.
But if you had made it to the championship, you were set.
Exactly.
That always sucks. Like when you lose like the first round of the playoffs, and then you kind of look at your team, like how they would have done the next couple of weeks, and you go, man, I would have outscored him. I would have outscored him.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. My buddy who won in our league, it was his first year ever winning our league that we've had for a decade. And I hate it because I've always compared him to the Bengals because he always makes the playoffs and then gets eliminated week 1. So it was very upsetting for me that he won.
Oh, that stigma's gone now.
Yeah.
That seemed like a good talking point.
Yeah. Now I got to come up with a whole new one.
You got to find some
I can't just respect him.
Find some one-hit wonder ones.
Yeah. To be fair, he is a Seahawk fan. So the one-hit wonder one, that one is a good one.
I can't be the only one that have people you have people in your league that you're like, I don't want that guy to win. Anybody else but that guy could win.
I'm that guy in our league.
I might be that guy, and like people aren't saying it, like they're like because I talk a lot of mess, and
yeah,
the league that you've been in that you said that people don't even talk trade or people don't even talk crap. I get out of those. I can't stand it. I'm out.
Our league almost disbanded at one point because literally every trade I would make would get vetoed because we had a veto system at that point, and everyone they didn't want me to win. So they would veto every trade that I would attempt to do. And it was pretty funny one time because I don't remember who the player was, but I tried to trade a player. It gets vetoed. And then the player I was going to receive ended up getting like a DUI or something where they got suspended. So they saved me from getting a player that would have been horrible for me.
It was probably Melvin Gordon.
I think it was a few seasons before he started doing that. I think it was like LeGarrette Blount or something went back then.
A legend.
So get rid of vetoes. If your league has vetoes, get rid of that crap. We did it in my league because we were having the same issue that people just hate. Oh, I hate Mike. I'll veto it. And it's like, come on. It was a good trade. It was a fair trade. They're not cheating. It's not collusion like people will say. And so now I just, as a commissioner, I just take the power and I go, hey, if it's good, I'm going to pass it. And you know what? We're not even going to wait 1 or 2 days. If I like it and it's good, I'm passing it.
Yeah, I don't even care if I like it, right? Because that's how I do mine. I don't care if I like it, like as long as it's not something insane. Because like everyone values players differently, you know, like you're saying that Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry one seems crazy today looking back at it, but like back then it was a legitimate trade. And like you see trades like that all the time where it's like, oh man, this seems stupid. And then, you know, 4 months later, you're like, it's the exact opposite way where you're like, oh wow, they killed that trade.
And I don't know, you're probably like me, and Mike probably does the same thing. We're always looking to buy those guys cheap. Like like that. Like I'm looking at that football behind you. And it reminds me of Joe Mixon, and that's the guy that everybody tried to buy cheap last year. And he never worked out.
Yep, I'm back on that train. By the way,
you're back on the Joe Mixon train.
Yeah, I'm ready to be heard again.
Joe, 2021.
Yeah, hurt me twice. You know. That's all.
So it came out.
Does it again? I'm out.
They're gonna run ball. They want to give Joe Mixon all these carries, right? That's what they're saying. And then he's working with the wide receivers. Still, he's out there. He's doing everything. And I'm still like, I
have Joe Mixon ahead of Jonathan Taylor.
Ooh,
hey.
Yeah.
Where can people find these rank? Do you have them on your website?
I do. Yeah. On if you type in clock.management. That's it. Just clock.management. No .com, no org, none of this other stuff. Clock.management.
And it's all up there already.
Yeah. I update it once a week.
So there you go. So you guys up once a week, and we're months away from your fantasy draft.
Yeah. This is yearly, like all year round. I do this. It could be February, and these are up to date.
There you go.
So people have no excuse to not follow you and win a championship.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would definitely would have got you there last year. Brandon, I'm about to put out some clips I did. I just clipped some stuff I went back to last season when we were doing our rankings. And the wide receiver that I was biggest on, like I had like the biggest differential from ADP and expert consensus rankings was Brandon Cooks. I was like, Brandon Cooks is going to be a top 20 wide receiver. I think I had him ranked as my wide receiver 18, and he finished as the wide receiver 16.
Ooh.
Yeah, he actually outdid where I projected him, and I had him super high compared to everyone else. So,
well, even on bad teams, somebody has to catch the ball, right?
Yes, and he had a great quarterback. There was no competition there. They just lost DeAndre Hopkins. And the only other competition was Will Fuller, and he is always the exception to the injury rule. He will be injured. It's just what he does.
If he's not injured, he finds something else. You
could stay healthy by doing steroids.
I don't like making fun of injuries and stuff like that, but in fantasy football, trash talk gums, right? So the guy who had Will Fuller in my league last year was bragging about it. Will Fuller, he just had that big game late in the season. Was it on Thanksgiving, right? Thanksgiving Day. He had that big game. He's like, Will Fuller's taking me to the championship, and everybody's going off. It's just a matter of time till he's out for the rest of the season. Don't worry about it. Stop bragging about it. And then he's like, nope, he's different this year. He's good. And then like the next day, 24 hours later, it's like he's busted for the season. He's like, no.
Well, and like you don't even feel bad about that, right? Because it's not like he got injured. He was cheating. So now I don't even have to feel bad.
Now we know why he had that big game. I think that's why I texted out. Like, now we know why he had that big game. So
for real, yeah. That was my excuse too, as I was pushing for Brandon Cooks to be good. See, he only did better because he is on steroids.
See, and Cooks had that injury prone
concussion
label.
Yeah.
Because because he's had like, I want to say 4 or 5 concussions in his career, but
he's had 4. Most of them were 3 of them were minor concussions, 1 major concussion. I did like a very deep dive into Brandon Cooks last year because I was constantly having to defend my position. But he had 1 major concussion, and that's the one everyone remembers why it stands out so much, because it was scary looking when it happened. But he actually, I want to say, I don't remember anymore, but over that time frame, I think he missed 3 games. Like through the season, he had only missed 3 total games. Like, but he has an injury-prone label on him.
Kind of like Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz has only missed like 6 to 8 games in his career, and people are like, "Nope, injury-prone."
It's the timing of those games.
Yeah,
it's the important.
It sticks out to people. Yeah, exactly, and it sticks out in people's memories. And people have that bias, right? If you have a player who's playing in the fantasy championship and he gets injured and puts up 0 points for you, you're going to remember that forever, and you're not going to like that player. And that's what you take advantage of as a fantasy player, though, because you'll see those people drop in people's ADP.
Yeah, like Michael Thomas this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I love Michael Thomas this year, and you get him at such a discount because he didn't perform to where people drafted him last year. That's not Michael Thomas's fault. That's everyone else's fault for drafting him there.
That's your fault for taking him high and having high expectations.
Yeah, I got out on Michael Thomas quickly, and I got out on Michael Thomas for like a Justin Jefferson package. So
Beautiful.
We made.
I still lost in the first round, so no worries.
we laughed at it because it was one of those trades that that you see it and you go, "What the heck is this?" But somebody traded James Robinson for Michael Thomas early in the season, and we're like, "Really, Michael Thomas is coming back?"
Yeah.
Hey, who won that deal?
Yeah.
Like, it worked out good. Justin, before we end the show, maybe give us 5 sleepers in fantasy football that we should be looking at.
Okay, so I can't go with Saquon Barkley. I don't know if you can qualify as a sleeper here. So let me scroll down. Oh, okay. So one of the guys I really like is Javonte Williams on the Broncos. Even in redraft, he's going to have value. He's their number 2 running back, and I think that he has a chance to supplant Gordon and be their starting running back.
Week 6.
Yeah. So I really like him, and you could get him, very, very late.
Yeah, and the running back that he's compared to coming out of the draft, if he can just be like one of them or be a mixture of all of them, whoo. Yeah. Don't do it against the Raiders, but all the other teams, go ahead and tear him up.
I'm about to start a Twitter campaign. Give Javonte 25. Just give him his number now. Don't let Melvin wear 25 first thing.
Yeah, another guy I like a lot that this one is going to depend on if Todd Gurley signs to Detroit, but Jamal Williams he's the backup there for Swift. He's going to have standalone value, especially in a PPR league. He catches the ball a lot. He's very talented. He's definitely more talented than any of the running backs that we saw there last year behind Swift. So he's not going to be a dude who's going to win you your league, but he's definitely going to have a role to play. Like, he'll be a solid flex play on a team that you can get way beyond a flex spot.
Yeah, Jamal Williams is good with Aaron Jones. So now you're putting him on a team that really has nothing else. But I like DeAndre Swift. I hope he breaks out.
Man, I know. I love Swift. So, but I mean, you could see a team like, I think Swift could be he has the potential to be a top 5 running back with what's his name? Jamal Williams also there killing it, having flex potential.
Anthony Lynn
in my leagues watching.
Anthony Lynn only knows how to run the ball on first and second down. He doesn't know that you can pass on first.
I reached out to him several times, trying to help him, give him some classes on clock management. He refused to reply to me though. So
nope, I'm good.
Oh man, don't bag on Anthony Lynn too much. He's such a great guy.
I just wish he had replied. I could have helped him.
He's in the 90s.
Yeah. So another guy I was just talking about, and he's just slept on every season. That's just what happens. And that's Brandon Cooks. He's again too low in rankings. People have him. I want to say his like average ranking has him in like the 40s for wide receivers. Like that's ridiculous. He has never come close to that. So yeah, you could get him way before that. I'm looking at my rankings here. I have up, and the nice part on my website with my rankings, it shows you what their ADP is as well, where it shows you where I have them ranked, what their ADP is, and then also what the expert rankings from Fantasy Pros is. So you could kind of see like who I value higher than where they are, which makes things like this easy when you're drafting. So you know where to get a guy for value.
Clock dot management, right?
Yes.
There you guys go. Clock dot management. No reason you can't win your league this year.
Right. A tight end I really like that people are sleeping on, I think, is Logan Thomas from Washington. I think he's going to have a big year. I think I have him as my tight end 6. Okay.
With Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to be throwing the ball a little bit more this year. So they, obviously they got their wide receiver there, but who's the next target? Logan Thomas is consistent. And in the red zone, I think he's going to get a bunch of targets.
See, so we got Jamal Williams, we got Cooks, Thomas, and I can't remember the
Javonte
Williams.
Yeah, and then Anthony Fursker from Tennessee, their offensive coordinator is now their tight end coach is now their offensive coordinator. They lost all those pass catchers I was talking about. You're going to see stacked boxes, so Fursker is going to have opportunity to find that soft spot in the defense. I think he's going to have a huge opportunity, and he could live up to that. I have him as a top 10 tight end this year,
and
which is 17 spots higher than ECR.
So you just gave 2 tight ends in a position that people really need to find in fantasy football. So guys,
you could get those guys at the end of your draft, which if you're not grabbing a top end tight end, that's where you're drafting your tight end. Don't be a guy who grabs like a middle range tight end. It doesn't work out for you.
No. All right, Mike, you okay?
I'm good. I'm liking it. I'm taking notes over here. I like it. Yeah. Good names. I like the Javonte Williams choice, especially just because I'm like big Javonte Williams fan. He's the only Bronco I'm rooting for.
Right.
We brought Justin on the show to give you advice. I'm already a champ.
Yeah, I need the help.
I got you. Yeah, we'll get you those guys so that way you're not waiting on them to get good for that fantasy championship week and get eliminated the first week.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's better than it's not better. But 2 years ago, I went to 3 out of 4 championship games and lost all 3. So I am just
that's brutal.
Going through pain the last couple of fantasy seasons.
Yeah, that's brutal. I don't know. One year I had the most points scored in my league, and I played for last place because everyone would have their highest scoring week against me. And so I ended up playing for last place. But I mean, I would rather do that than play and lose in the championship. I talked crap the whole time. I picked up and started Tim Tebow as my quarterback again in the game for last place against my friend who's a Broncos fan. And we get our trophy for last place is called the Tebow. And I beat him and gave him the Tebow with Tim Tebow. So that was amazing. I didn't get last place. Thank God.
That's awesome. That's a great story.
Your trophy.
That's another tight end draft this year is Tim Tebow.
I was gonna say your trophy has some more meaning this year,
right? Yeah, I post on Twitter. I tweeted out right after Tebow signed just to clear things up for people for redraft. Don't draft Tim Tebow. For dynasty, do not draft Tim Tebow.
Just don't draft Tim Tebow.
Just making it clear, he's putting it out there. Don't draft him.
Yeah, not worth it. And I hope he has a touchdown week 1.
Yeah, I hope
everyone's gonna pick him up with their waiver pick.
No. I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna love watching all the I told you so's only to have that be his only touchdown all season.
Well, Justin, I appreciate you coming on. We talked about a lot of stuff. Pace League, guys, please check out the Pace League. Find all the links in Justin's bio and everybody's bio. We'll post it on our show. It'd be below. It'd be in our description below. Pace League, please help them out. Look for more stuff to come. We talked about the 49ers offseason. We talked about fantasy football. Justin, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you. You did great. You entered the Warzone. You did an awesome job.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it, man.
And they can find you at Twitter. And Twitter is different. Twitter,
yeah,
you
I'm
flipped it.
dyslexic.
It's clock management, right?
Yeah, I'm dyslexic, so it's management clock on Twitter. Yeah, but if you type in clock management, I still come up. So
find him on Instagram, find him on Twitter, and he'll answer you guys if you guys have questions for you. And then we said clock.management is his website. Check that out. Thank you again, Justin. Mike, see you on Friday night.